Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 150. Oh my fucking God. Can you believe it? We are here. We have a huge guest. Porn legend Alexis Fawx is here with me to celebrate 150 episodes of Sex Party. We are going to talk about her nearly 15 years in the adult industry, her being a legend, DPs, gangbangs, of course, squirting, of course, MILF content, of course, stepmom content. We get into a little bit of her sex and dating life in real life, what that's like. We also talk about some of the moments that have been incredible in her career along the way. It's a huge interview. And before we get to it, couple of things. One, I want to say thank you for being a viewer, a listener, a fan of this podcast. 150 episodes feels absolutely insane. And if you are watching this, if you're listening to this, I want to take a quick minute to ask you to subscribe to the show, right? It's one small little button click for you. Takes a couple seconds, but for me, it means a fucking whole hell of a lot. So thank you for everything. I'm looking forward to 150 more episodes. And without further ado, enjoy my conversation with porn legend Alexis Fawx.
This week's conversation.
Oh boy, this is one of those episodes where I get to say something that I don't say all the time. We've had a couple other legends on the show, but Alexis Fawx, welcome to Sex Party. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. This is episode 150, so we timed it just perfectly. Somehow we pulled this off where you're going to be episode 150, which is a huge, accomplishment for me. For those of you who don't like the podcast, I look forward to the next 150 episodes. We love our haters here. We have a lot of haters. We have a lot of lovers. And I would imagine there is a lot of Alexis Fawx fans in the audience today. So that's awesome.
Yeah. We all have lovers and haters.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I had this conversation with my girlfriend because she does like relationship mentoring and coaching, and she's just fucking a genius, right? And some asshole it wasn't about her, but they had a comment like, these relationship coaches that aren't married, and she just wrote like this gorgeous, beautiful thing. I'm like, honey, you got to remember, if you have haters, you're doing something right, right?
Someone's talking about you.
Yeah. So, okay. On that same notion, let's just roll with this. Like, how have you dealt with haters in the past?
Yeah, honestly, my mindset, where it has been, and just I think how I've developed as this human being, I don't even fucking notice it. I just don't. I am so, once in a while, I'll see something in a comment. You know what I do? Because I'm an adult, I hit block. I hit block and delete, because I'm not going to waste my energy, combating someone that's we're not on the same level, emotionally, intelligently wise. So what's the point? They, whatever, hey, go ahead. I'm going to be the intelligent one here and just hit block. And that way you don't have to even see my shit. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny because I'm sure, we all get it, and stuff like that. It's just the nature of the game. Anytime you put anything on the internet, regardless of what venue that is, people are going to like you and people are not going to like you for whatever reasons that they have inside themselves. But I just don't really fucking pay attention to it. So I don't pay any mind to it at all. And I think when you do that, because anything you put energy to, that it's, anything that you focus on, you're putting your energy towards, you're going to see more of. So why would I want to do that?
Yeah. I mean, and you bring up some amazing points. Like, this person is taking their energy that they could use anywhere else. They could be jerking off. They could be inventing some other new form of light
reading
bulb.
the Bible, if that's your thing. Like, go do it. Like, I'm not stopping you. Why are you even watching my shit in the first place? How do you know about it? Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, and if I would just happen to land on your Explore page, hit mute or block. Like, it's that simple. We all have that beautiful little button up top. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And this next part's going to sound silly, but we always do it here on the show. We can have some fucking fun with it. You don't need any introduction whatsoever, right? But we're still going to do an introduction because I think the self-introduction is a powerful, fun thing. So let's just say, and you've been in the porn game for a while. You are a certified fucking legend. Okay, you're here. You're one of the fucking original gangsters in my book. I think in everybody's book, really. I mean, you're Hall of Fame bound. Let's be honest.
Thank you.
But let's say somebody maybe like, I don't know, like, you know, huff too many cans of fucking Whippets or something at a party 15, 20 years ago, or they tried to do a cool trick and they did a back spring off of the diving board and banged their head. They've been in a coma for like 15, 20 years. They're now waking up. Can you talk about who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, I'm Alexis Fawx. I am an adult entertainer, model, actress, however you want to, title me in that perspective. I have been in the adult industry for 14, going on 15 years. I've seen it, just come before, where you're shooting main porn all the time, to like camming started a whole thing, to now there's OnlyFans, and I've seen how that was able to all develop, and it's a really cool thing to see over the years. And I got my start in Miami, Florida, at Bang Bros, doing Dancing Bear. I actually answered a Craigslist ad back in the day in 2010 when it was somewhat safe. Who knows? Anyway, I answered a Craigslist ad and I ended up on a porn shoot. And I was totally up for it. I signed up for it. It did say their adult work or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I know what Dancing Bear is. I've watched porn, whatever. I was in my 30s. So I was already an adult. The next thing I knew, they were going to through this little list of, if you want to make more money, you can show your boobs, kiss your friend, da 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 da. They were only going to blowjob that day, and we have a spot for a blowjob. So if you want to, do that, raise your hand. And I was like, boom. And I was like, thin with these at that time I had black hair and I got picked and I was enthusiastic. And the next thing I knew they were doing my makeup and putting the clothes on me. And, it was really, really cool. And then I didn't really get nervous about it because I was like, whatever, I've given plenty of blowjobs by this point. So it wasn't a new thing. And I definitely have watched enough porn where I was like, I'm going to mimic all the great blowjob scenes that I've jerked off to myself. And I'm just going to do that. Right. That was the only preparation in my head. And I went for it. And the next thing I knew, I was getting booked for my very first boy-girl scene the very next day. And that was for MILF, so for Bang Bros. And, that led to getting a little contract with Bang Bros and driving the Bang Bus to camming and, just doing a lot of, it gave me a lot of time for self-improvement and self-development, which was really what I think we all need from time to time, if not all the time. So I really took advantage of having the autonomy over my own time and also making the money to create the stability to really, I wanted just to really supply my basic needs first, a good roof over my head in a nice place where I felt safe and made sure that rent was always paid or whatever. Food in the fridge, just really just normal, because I feel like once you have that stable basic needs met, then it really allows you to thrive in the environment in which you're in. So anyway, that was my take on it. And that's who I am.
No, yeah, I love it.
I do a lot of shit too beyond that though. But that's developed over time, But that's the beginning of me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you bring up something so fucking awesome and so crucial that a lot of people don't really key in on, and that is this like foundational financial foundational like stability with sex work, right? And it's like now there's the OnlyFans, now there's obviously mainstream is never going away. I don't care what anybody says, it's still going to be there in some form, whatever. But I mean, did you calculate out this is how much money I need to be coming in order to maintain? Because you're totally right. Like financial stress is a whole other thing where it's like, once those boxes are checked and you're good and you know you're good as long as you keep on keeping on, that opens up a whole new level of like creativity and drive that most people don't reach.
Yeah. My main goals when I first got in was, like I said, getting a roof over my head, having food, because, nutrition is important. If you're eating well, you're going to perform well. You're also going to sleep better, making sure I had, I could afford a gym membership, because then I realized, I should really take good. It's really taking better care of yourself when those basic needs are met, and giving my time, to also rest and, really, I really have had a wonderful developed experience over my whole entire career. And I think it's important that people do that.
Yeah. I usually do this at the end, but fuck it. Let's roll. I mean, we're here with Alexis Fawx. Fuck it, right? Let's just go for it.
There's no rules.
Yeah, there's no fucking rules to podcasting, you guys. We do whatever the hell we want. So, okay, if someone is young and they're getting into OnlyFans, loyal fans, because loyal fans is having a huge come up right now. If they're getting into mainstream, any kind of sex work, I mean, on that same financial advice, on that same like fitness advice, wellness advice, like what advice would you give someone who's coming into this world and wants those foundational things?
Definitely work on your mental, emotional health along with your physical health. Everything is so connected and so important. Get yourself a good financial advisor or somebody you can trust, a tax attorney, business attorney of that realm that can help you guide you with your business. Also, come to the realization that anytime you put anything on the internet, it's on the internet. You can have it wiped off all you think, but it's already been shared a zillion times. It's out there. It's done. So come to terms with that. If you're going to get into adult work, you're going to be doing adult things. Those require adult decision making. Make sure you're prepared to make those decisions.
Yeah. No, that's, I mean,
sorry, was that like too much?
No. Oh my.
But
not
I
at
think
all.
it is adult entertainment. It's not adult education. It's adult entertainment. It does require adult decision making and a realization that, hey, like, I'm going to be on the internet forever doing something. So there's hundreds of pages out there now.
Not to mention the screenshotters and shit that it fucking saves.
Oh yeah, like that's what I said. No matter how, like you can, no matter if I think there was one where there was a scene put out. This was ages ago, and I was friends with the director, and I think during the scene he accidentally said my real name or something like that, which got caught up in the sound, and I didn't catch it for the longest time. It was a fan that caught it, and then so I wrote the company, and they tried, they try to fix that, but once it's out there, it's out there. It's not anything to do about it.
Well, I think that's incredible advice, and I think it really solidifies the advice that's been given on the show prior by people, because it's coming from you, and you are such a pro. You know all of the fucking ins and outs of this industry and the OnlyFans stuff and whatever. So I appreciate everything that you said. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. And like, don't do things that you're going to regret. Like, if you're not 100% on the yes factor, don't do it. That 1% might sneak up and bite you in the ass, and you might regret it and be like, oh fuck, I might be emotionally traumatized by the actions I took because I said, well, I'm kind of ready. You're kind of ready. You're not really ready. You have a hesitation there. Do the things and that you have, you're excited to do. And you can create, and that's not just sex work. I mean, do that across the fucking board. If you're excited to do something, you find out creative ways to get beyond the boundaries, the difficult parts, or this, that, and the other. If you have passion about it and creativity, I mean, that's why you're here for 3 years, right? That's why you're on 150th episode. Because you're doing something that you really enjoy and you have passion about. So I'm sure it wasn't just like, woo, here we go. There's things that you've learned along the way, but because you like what you do, you're like willing to do it.
Yeah, and it's you know, and I'm sure you can speak to this more than me, but it's an evolution, right? I feel like every time I come into an interview, it's something new that I'm learning, right? If this show isn't absolutely chaotic and crazy, and this guy's a fucking drunk or whatever the fuck, or he's nuts or he's chaotic or whatever, but also like I think I learned something. If it's not both, I just totally fail. And the person who's learning the most is me in all of these conversations, you know, and I'm learning things I didn't think I was learning. So I have a renewed excitement, and you know, I'm sure you've had scenes where you're like, fuck, I'm goddamn tired. I don't want to go do a fucking blow bang DP fucking somersault fucking scene today. But yeah. But you know, there's that consistency professionalism that you have and you go do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I if I was like really sick or something, but I'm lucky I'm healthy. I don't get sick. So
you seem like a very healthy, grounded person, which is another reason why it's awesome to have you here. I mean, I've always said that, you know, you guys in the porn game are, for the most part, I would say 80% of you are like athletes, right? Because it's not, you know, porn is porn, right? We go to porn because we want things that we don't have in our normal life. And people need to like, it's not, porn is ruining shut the fuck up. No, it's not. If porn was exactly like sex was in real life, nobody would watch porn.
Exactly.
So you guys,
like, I'm doing it at home. Why am I watching this?
Right.
It's like when people order salads and you go out, you can just make that at home.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
Look,
I'm very bad. Salads out, so I'm calling myself out on that.
No, me too. Yeah. I could never make a Greek salad at home. We would be so fried. It would be so fucked. Like whatever. But I get what you're saying. But the thing is you talked about taking care of your body and your mind, and it's like that's what makes you guys like athletic, right? Is that you guys are able to fuck for hours, take photos, fuck again, and whatever. And most normal people can't do that. But if you're going to get into this game, you kind of got to take care of your body and your mind, because that's what's making you the sweet, sweet cash.
That's your longevity, you know, in the long run. It's a mental, it's emotional, and it's a very physical game, for whatever term. And it's about the endurance, you know, physically enduring, you know, knowing your body, educating yourself on that, I know my body really well. Like, it's so wild. I feel like more people should get to know their body as much as I do. And I feel like everyone in our industry has gotten, because everybody's different, but I feel like in the industry where, you know, we've all had to get to know our bodies really well and how it functions and what works for what. You know, when I prep for certain scenes, you know, that's going to require me to stop eating at a certain time. I know when I'm going to be any energy deficient, what I need to do when I'm energy deficient to prolong that scene in case I don't get to the sex part until later in the day. Like, you just become, that's what an athlete does, right? They learn how to work their body to the best of their ability and to their advantage.
Well, what do you do for an energy boost? You just crack a Red Bull or what?
No. Oh my God. So like, I'm talking about like an anal scene or a DP scene or something like where you're going to need to clean out and not want to eat a whole lot of food, obviously, like by a certain time.
I was kidding.
But you know, like that's where the whole gummy bears thing comes in. I don't like sweets. Mm-hmm. I do have like low blood pressure. So what I found that works for me is like chicken broth, just salt water. Okay. Really. I mean, chicken broth works. I like the flavor of it. I can and I think my body likes the warmth of it, and it makes me feel like, oh, okay, I ate something kind of or whatever, because everybody eats soup once in a while, I guess. Sure. And and that just boosts me up. The salt will just give me a little kick, and I'm like, oh, okay, I have a little bit of energy. I can power through what I need to do.
I mean, that's a new one, because we've heard, so the anal stuff, we've heard if you're going to do an anal, and I like to explain a little bit because we might have some noobs here, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do an anal scene, you don't want there to be shit coming out of your ass on camera. So professionals prepare. There's a thing called the gummy bear diet. We had Brenna McKenna on. She explained the gummy bear diet. There's a lot of other people who, they eat gummy bears for 3 or 4 days. Nothing
God,
but
I couldn't do 3 or 4 days. I'm such a, like, my metabolism is super fast. And I know that about myself, man. I've 3 or 4 days, I would be so insane on set. I would have
I'm sure.
I get hangry after like not eating for a certain period of time in one day, like let alone that many days. I would be so like, I would look like I would look frazzled as fuck. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I haven't slept in 3 days. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like I want on a bender or something.
Yeah, a chicken
totally
soup
not my
bender.
style, but like it would have looked like that. It would be mindset wise. I would be like, wow, I should have just went on a bender at that point. Like health.
Yeah.
But everybody knows their different body. I can literally eat up until about 7:30 the night before, just because I know I'll metabolize it before.
Oh wow. So the chicken broth thing you're doing for how long? Like just that day?
No. So that's just like if I'm on this. Okay, so I get to set, let's say 9 or 10. I'm in makeup, blah blah blah. We have dialogue. By this time it could be about 3 o'clock, and you're like, okay, maybe set up for sex scene at that time. So I haven't eaten from like maybe 7:30 the night before until 3 p.m. So you're basically fasting.
Yeah.
So I've trained my body how to fast anyway. So that kind of helps me out. But it's always like when you can't eat, you want to eat. I swear. On a day that I'm like, any other day I can fast all fucking day. It'll be 9 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I didn't eat yet. But like on the days that you can't eat because you're trying to do something physically, it's like, oh my God, you just crave everything, I think. At least that's how I do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like if I'm starting, like for me, my energy will start crashing, in the later afternoons, just because, I need to eat something. I need to, get that little energy perk. It's usually like, that's where the salt or like the little bouillon cubes, or I do sometimes like the Lipton cup of soup. It's just literally just the salt water, really. It's just a good boost for me. And it's, it's because I think it's related to my I have a little bit of a low blood pressure. Especially with not eating.
So this isn't just an anal exclusive thing. This is like a porn thing that you do.
Yeah.
With chicken. Okay. Because, everybody has a different anal diet. You're saying you can eat all the way up to 7:30 the day before. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm not I'm also eating easily digestible foods. I'm not trying to stock down a shit ton of cheese, so I'm all like clogged up like the next day or anything. Like
oh
when
my
a nice
God.
easy morning. But
yeah, you're not going to fucking In and Out. Yeah, no, we love. Listen, the more honest on this show, the better.
All humans. Yeah. Everybody's can relate to that in some shape or form. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit more careful with my diet the day before but I just know for myself, and I want to. For me, I like to put a lot and have a high energy output on my scene days. It's better for me to eat up to a certain point. I get up way early. I have like a routine in the morning, and by the time I get to set, between 9 and 10 or 10 and 11, I'm pretty much good to go because I'll do most of my clean out and prep and everything at home first.
Yeah.
But there's some people that literally have to stop eating 24 hours ahead of time. I just think mentally and physically and emotionally, like I get emotional when I get hangry. It's literally, I can eat I just don't want to be that type of state of mind on set. Right. So for me to make sure that I'm very aware and I'm feeling good for the scene so I can put out a great product for the company that's hired me. I have a routine for that, but we all do different things. So
sure. Yeah. So on that same notion, after you've had a full fucking bang out day, no matter what you're doing, right? It's exhausting. You're tired, you're hungry, right? Like where are we headed afterwards? I mean, I think is a big question. Like, are you going to fucking In and Out? Are you going to Burger King? What are we doing?
Well, if I'm shooting here in Las Vegas, that means I'm usually, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes from home. I'm going to come home and I'm going to have a really good home cooked meal. And I got to be honest, it's usually something easy to cook like pasta, or I'll do a little meal prep where I can just warm it up quickly, or, pasta is just a good comfort food for me. So it's easy. I can whip that up really quick. What's, sauce and noodles and little Parmesan. It's not hard. It's not hard. So,
well, for me, it'd be a disaster, but for you,
let Stepmom send you some recipes. But like, I'll just whip up something and just make sure, it's, good, just something healthy.
yeah,
I love to cook. So that to me, after a scene is just nice. It's like, it's just great because I'm also on the road a lot. So if I'm on the road, then I just I'll probably order pasta because pasta is just easy to warm up. Because sometimes after, like, if I have a really long day and I've like kind of fasted and kind of shut that like hunger off for a really long period of time, I kind of got to open my appetite up again. So pasta to me is easy. I really like it. It's my comfort food. I can have a little bit, and pasta is even better when you warm it up, like the next day or in a few hours. So to me, it's just like an easy food to make and remake if you need to.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think people, we love the details. We got to have the details on the fucking show, right?
I'm a very detailed person.
No, so am I, and that's what I love about having people like you on the show is you'll go there with me. Like these people are like, well, fuck, they're 20 some minutes in and they're talking about pasta after fucking gangbang or whatever, and that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, some meatballs and spaghetti after a gangbang? Call me, man. I'm fucking down. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Make it for everybody on set. I should do that. I should be like, listen, ZZ, I need another gangbang. I'll bring the pasta.
Oh yeah,
some homemade sauce and homemade. I love cooking. Yeah.
There you go, Stepmom gangbang pasta. That might be the name of the fucking episode we're recording. Who knows?
Oh my god, that's I might have to write out an idea, a creative idea for this.
Exactly. Yeah. So in the industry, and I told you before we started recording, I don't want to retread a bunch of fucking territory. You've been on some amazing podcasts. I want to still talk about these things though, because your first appearance here, and I feel like whatever, but we'll try not to spend a bunch of time on things that you've already spent time on. I want you to talk about what you want to talk about. That being said, you are known in this industry for a few items that are pretty incredible. One is squirting. The other is your MILF content. Your tits are in there. Everyone talks about your tits. You had a tit out on Pillow Talk. Everybody loved that episode. And
I did have a tit out. I forgot all about that.
and your stepmom content, right? Like, because I think these are important things that we got to cover. So, which one should we tackle first? Let's hit the squirting thing. Okay. You're a squirter. You're a big squirter in the industry. And if you ask me, I think you helped sort of revolutionize that and make that more mainstream. Would you agree with that?
Well, thank you. I think, I think there was quite a few of us, that I looked at too. I mean, look at Adriana Chekchik. She was an incredible squirter. Yeah. That's why I got scenes with her to squirt,
Legend.
So yeah, I got lucky and I got to squirt with legends. So it taught me a lot of great legendary tricks. And now it's like, it's almost like I can do party tricks with it now. Yeah, I got really known for that for a long time, and definitely one of the niches. And I did learn from those individuals because I wanted to get good at something. I wanted to get really good at that. It looked really cool, and people requested it a lot. And Pedialyte should definitely sponsor me.
Yeah.
Dude, the way I can chug a Pedialyte. Oh.
I bet.
And I just do no flavor. And everybody's like, why? And I'm like, because I'm not drinking it because I like it. And I want to taste some sugary bullshit. I'm drinking it. Also, I live in the desert now. So I have one about a day or every other day or every 2 days or something. It all depends just to stay hydrated because I do live in Las Vegas, right? And it helps out with your hair, skin, and nails when you stay hydrated from the inside. But and now and also like, I think like what most of us do on camera, these I don't know, maybe I'm gonna date myself. I don't know. I used to play in the backyard and we hook the thing up to the hose and it just shoots.
Yeah. Oh my God. See, and this is, okay, I saw this on another show and I was researching you, obviously. And my immediate question, I'm like, I want to ask her this. Let's say that we're at a party and I'm like, and I go like across the room, like 20, 30 feet across the room, and I set up bottles like an old Wild West shootout. Could you take out each bottle precisely with squirting?
If I was well hydrated, because what that is I'm literally like, we all know what that is when you're well hydrated and you're like shooting across the room that far. That's no, I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna say like that's a lot of push. So yeah, I can go far. I mean, I don't know, 20, 30 feet I think is a little far, but like I know I've gone over 6 feet. We were in it was like another orgy I did with Brazzers for Brazzers House. This was a long time ago, and I think it was in Bella Danger. And it went over the I don't know if it was the microphone guy, sound guy. I don't remember what it was, but he's tall and he had a huge microphone. And I remember looking up because he's like, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life.
Yeah, well, listen, 20, 30 feet. I failed geometry in high school. So I totally fucking blew that.
Like where I'm sitting in my kitchen, I could definitely get you on the other side of my kitchen for sure. Like, no problem. I hit your floor right in the middle of the forehead. Boom. Get that in slow motion. I would do that.
Well, I feel like a lot of people would probably pay for that, like on OnlyFans or
oh my God. Like you get offers for like, oh man, can you bottle your squirt so I can drink it? No, I don't think I can legally sell my body fluids like that. I don't know.
People,
I'm sure it's been done. And great. But I'm trying not to be in trouble. I love my life. So I just want to abide by rules. So, but you know, like if I was, man, I tell you what, though, going back to Berlin, Germany and being at the Venus convention, if I get to go back in 2025, I'm going to try to make it a point to go back there because what they do, you're allowed to like, I could do a squirt show there and not be in trouble. And if that's the case, then fine. I can squirt on you. I'll do whatever as long as, you know, the willing participants want that, obviously. I'm down to do those things.
Well, they're booking their tickets to Berlin right now.
Yeah. So. It was wild. I was like, why aren't there like the porn conventions in the US like this? Like, I looked at it was like live sex, like just happening because they were promoting maybe their cam show or, you know, whatever it was. But it was, I loved it. I thought it was just great.
Yeah, I mean, Germany, fucking Europe is fucking insane when it comes to sex. They just don't give a shit. They're ready to fucking party, piss content, squirt content, all the fucking things. I hear, and like a regular porn shoot to them is like, oh, I thought it was all gangbangs. You know, like they're just like ready to go, you know?
It seems like it, I guess there was like some companies, I'm like, I don't think I'm ready.
Yeah, that's
too
insane.
Many dicks in one asshole. I'm just sorry.
Yeah,
my rubber band will break. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna bow that out. Let that after the.
Yeah, and it's always like 6 to 8, like very strong Eastern European or Russian gentlemen with big rings ready to go down and tear it up, and it's like, okay, this seems very intense. It's. Oh, was that the doorbell?
Oh, it's probably my Sprouts. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think the more real we can make this interview, the better. We love the realism.
Oh, you're gonna hear my little senior pups and their luxury fucking retirement plan. Hey, you don't make enough money to bark at me. No, just kidding.
That's amazing. A little cameo there.
They're always trying to get into my shit. No, I'm just kidding.
I bet.
I'm surprised they're not sitting on the beanbag trying to get a little cameo time. Like, look how cute I am. My mom neglects me.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we covered squirting. We're gonna move on from it because I feel like, we don't want to spend too much time where time has already been spent. The MILF thing. When did the MILF thing become part of your repertoire? Do you remember the moment where someone's like, "Oh, would you do MILF?" or "You've been cast as a MILF?" Or
But that was my very that was my very first sex scene and second scene. So I did a Dancing Bear, which made me the bridal lady, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that, fucks on the bridal shower thing. And then the very next day was MILF soup. So I was already casted as MILF. Plus I was like big tits, and I was already in my 30s. So I kind of hit that. I kind of was like, I was typecast. It just hit. God. And then I was like, okay, cool. I guess this is what it is, And then, after that, you just kind of there was a lot. Like I was also, Bang Bros had me for Fuck Team 5 and a few other things. And then after a while, you get stuck in, washers and underneath tables, and your stepson has to get you out or whatever. And where you can clearly get out on your own, but why would you? I just do that in my own house. I'm just like, there's just nobody shows up. But yeah, so
you're just sitting there waiting in your own house,
underneath my dining room table, and I'm like, "Fuck,
for
this
the
works
DoorDash
in the movies.
guy or something."
Why isn't it working now?
That's awesome. That's really fucking funny. That's really fucking funny. Well, you bring up the next one perfectly. Podcaster's dream. Great transition. High five. Okay? So the stepmom stuff, the taboo stuff. It's always, and this is a big question I ask on the show, but it's always in the top 5, top 3 on the hub, like the daughter swap, the stepmom, the whatever. And performers have different varying opinions on whether they like it, right? And they're like, I'll do it. I don't like it. I think it's weird. I like it. It's horny. And then the third one's like, I don't care. Does the taboo stuff turn you on because it's taboo, or are you just kind of like, whatever?
I don't think it's actually the fantasy, and I kind of look like, not only like little, especially with like on-site with OnlyFans and stuff like that, and people buying customs, you become like a little fantasy maker, like you're just creating a little fantasy that they want to see themselves in. So it may not like actually the particular fantasy itself of stepmom turn me on, but what is hot is seeing someone else get off. I kind of just, you could pretty much play any fantasy in that. It's just hot in that way. I think it's exciting when you find out what someone's kink is and you're able to let them enjoy themselves and pleasure in that way. And I think that's hot in itself. And that's what I can get into. I don't have to necessarily be like, if I was in a relationship and my partner was like, oh, call me stepmom, it might throw me off a little bit because I do that at work. I'm just like, could you just call me my real name, maybe? I don't know. I'm so vanilla in my real life. I'm like, can we just do missionary style and look me in the face? Can we have some eye contact, please?
Yeah.
Don't ask me to do reverse in my private life. I'll look at you like with a death stare, like, excuse me?
Yeah, get out, right? Yeah, exactly.
Fuck out of here. So a third person that's going to help?
Yeah, if you want to open that door, then look, we're bringing in other people. Well, yeah, I mean, you say that, right? You say, "Oh, I'm vanilla in my private life," but then again, the research I didn't over research because I never like to, but it does sound like, at least at the time of other interviews, you were like swinging single Alexis Fawx, right? You're like, I'm not in a relationship. I like the fucking. You didn't want to put a title on it. It felt like polyamory, but like you were kind of like, I'm having fun.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, what I've learned about myself is that when I was in my very monogamous relationships, I would definitely self-sabotage those into like eventually breaking up. And it wasn't like anything like, and I'm friends with most of my exes and like any normal people, you're going to be friends with some and not with some, like whatever. But for the majority of them, I'm really actually still good friends with them. And just, I realized that I really just enjoy my freedom. I really like having my alone time. I like being able to do the things I want to do when I want to do them. And I like being responsible for myself. And I don't know. I'm not against a relationship. I'm just not looking for it. And I do love like these like little one-off little romances and stuff like that. And intimacy can go in very just, you know, when I have like intimate time, sometimes it's just a really great, you know, a couple dinners with each other and good intimate conversation. And then maybe the next time I go to that city, country, or wherever I met that person, maybe I'll meet up with them again and maybe take that intimacy to a different level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that to me, man, I can go home and masturbate to that. I'm like, God, that was a really good dinner. And fuck me, because I love food. Great conversation, made me laugh. I'm like, yeah, I would go see that person again when I come here. So sometimes it's just really that. Sometimes it's just like, oh man, this is going to be a pump and dump. I love it. Let's go.
Pump and dump. That's fucking amazing. So I always use that term for like stupid finance shit, like whatever. And you just use it for sex. It makes so much more sense. Where have I been on that? Another episode title contender. God, I can count on you, man. Holy shit. Okay, so where is Alexis Fawx, the goddamn legend, right? The upper echelon, you're on Mount Rushmore of porn. Whether you want me to say that or not, you're a goddamn fucking certified legend, right? So where does Alexis Fawx go to find someone to do a pump and dump or to like go on a date with? Like, you can't be on the apps.
No, I don't do apps. Oh my God. I tried apps a long, long time ago. I was like, oh, let me try this dating app, blah, blah, blah business. So I tried it. It was the fucking, oh God, it was so miserable. I don't like that setup feeling. And it was like, I kind of thought I was like going safety and I was just a bad date. I was like to the point where I was like, I will never do that again. So if you are talking to anybody, Alexis Fawx from a dating app, it is not me. So you might want to reevaluate what you've been talking about. I really, honestly, I don't know if it just makes me old school. I really just love the random chance of meeting people. The randomness of it is hot to me. Like the spontaneity of like hitting it off with someone, whether it's for that night or maybe it's like, hey, can I get your number? And maybe we chatted over coffee or something and see if we could sit at dinner time and spend an hour or so conversing, or maybe we are only a coffee 15-minute. Nice to meet you. I'm glad we won't do this again. Meet. You know what I mean? I'm a huge coffee date person on the first. I like that because it's unassuming. It's usually in the daytime. And I think within the first couple minutes of drinking a coffee and maybe opening up a conversation, you get like, do you really want to sit through a fucking dinner with somebody that you just,
oh no,
you can tell within the first 5 minutes whether or not you can withstand a conversation, or you're going to be like, when the fuck do I just get up and leave now? I don't want to ever do that. So let's not waste each other's time. Let's hash it out on a little bit of a coffee, hot cocoa, tea, whatever the fuck you're into, mid-afternoon.
Yeah. So, but where like these guys are like approaching you at Starbucks and you're like, yeah, I'll give this guy a shot. Or like, is it like a gym instructor? Like how are you meeting? Cause I feel like there's, I mean, not that you're walking around with like 6-man security teams.
Well, okay. Recently I'm in a business group. And in that business group, someone DM'd me. I didn't even know the person. I didn't even look at his profile or anything. Yeah. But anyway, DM'd me. It was very polite. And was just like, hey, I didn't realize you were in this group or something like that. I'd like to take you out. I realize you might get this from a lot of people. And of course, if this is unwarranted, I'm so sorry. It just was very polite. So I was like, yeah, you can take me out. I didn't even need to look at a profile. It wasn't, to me, it was like, yeah, it was polite. If you want to go out and see if, good conversation, let's try it. I'm not opposed to it. Who knows? Maybe it's a good friend. Who knows? Maybe I'll learn something from this person. So I like the randomness of it. So that's one thing. I don't think I get approached too much. I don't know if people are just hesitant. Maybe it's I don't know.
It seems very odd to me that you don't get approached a lot. That's crazy.
Well, or maybe I just don't pick up on it because I'm just my mindset's so somewhere else.
I mean, are you ever in a coffee shop?
I think sometimes I get it at the gym.
Well, you can't know.
But I'm always with my trainer, so I don't think people are coming up to me during my trainer. But I see the eye.
You can't approach a woman in the gym. That's the dumbest fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm not there to meet people. Like I barely match. I'm like either my hair or my teeth got brushed, but probably not both. Like it's just
yeah, you're in the gym. Yeah,
I'm in the
for
gym.
sure.
Like I give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
I want to
Well,
stink. It's okay.
Yeah, you're there to fucking grind it out. Well, and you also, you date men and women, or you're open to it, right?
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
have women thrown themselves at you, and you've gone on dates, or you had hookups, or
Yeah.
is that
Especially
okay?
in Miami. I feel like more women in Miami. Not so
Yeah.
much in Las Vegas.
Miami feels like very bi horny.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very bi horny actually. Yeah, I feel like I have
yeah.
more bi horny experiences probably there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to put it.
Right.
Las Vegas,
Yeah.
I'm sure it exists. I should need to find some good swinger parties here. That would just show up. Hey.
Yeah, so do you would you go to a swinger party? Because I did hear a rumor that sometimes
Even
you go to
watch.
orgies.
I'm a creep. I even just to watch. I'm an instigator.
Yeah.
Could you do that again, ma'am? That looked really good.
Let's see that leg thing again. Do that leg thing again. Yeah.
That was hot. Do you mind if I just
So have you done that? Because I did hear that
I like swinger parties.
that you'll go to orgies sometimes, right? Is this true?
I've been to orgies. I've been to swingers. Okay. One of my favorite swinger orgy parties I've ever was invited to, again, Miami, Florida. It was shortly when I was in, it was within the first 2 years I was in the industry. And I was on some yacht, and it was myself and like maybe I think one or two other talent that got on there with a bunch of these folks. And they were like, I would say the majority of the individuals on there were probably later 40s, early 50s to like later. And the women were so hot, and they just like was such an inspiration how much they could like orgasm and naturally squirt or ejaculate or however you want to term it. And it was just like, it was such like, oh, that's how I want to be when I get older. And I think it's happening.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite orgy just because it was just so hot watching these men and women just fuck and not give a shit. And it was just like, okay, that's what I want mindset that I want to have like when I get older. It's not always about the sex, but just the mindset of freedom, not giving a shit.
So, okay, if you're like, tonight I'm kind of feeling like watching some crazy shit, I may or may not get involved. You could open your phone, I'm sure, right now and be like, I'm going to have to see. And then you could find out if there's an orgy or a sex party or something tonight.
Yeah, I could probably ask a few people and figure it out or see when the next one is. I could put the feelers out. Not saying I would have an answer today in 5 minutes, but definitely could put the feelers out and be like, hey, I'm in the mood to jerk off about 10 random guys. Where can I make that happen? But then again, I have OnlyFans. I could also hire 10 random guys and just jerk them off. So
and you can make money too. Yeah.
Honestly, especially yeah.
Do you do stuff with random people on OnlyFans? No way.
No. It's all like talent of some sort because of testing practices and stuff like that. I want to be careful. Do I do the scenarios as if it is random? Of course. That we all do. That's the part of the fantasy.
Absolutely.
So you might see like I'm sure I'm going to get shit from like somebody sometime where I'm like, because I have a lot of, what I do is I observe what my fans are buying and what they're requesting and what they want, right? And what they, and see what is that. And then I focus on those things. And the whole like married cheating type of vibe where I'm talking shit about their wife or their divorcing wife or something like that, and they're wearing the ring is very a high ticketed item for me right now. So now I'm, out in those casinos, just taking married men and taking them up to my room and banging them while their wife's on the floor. Is that true? That's up to you.
Yeah. It's how much you want to believe. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very
true.
careful. And I mean, the reason, even like when I'm out meeting random people, that's why I'm saying like, I rather, I go to dinner and stuff. I'm actually very careful because my livelihood depends on it. And so does my colleagues. I don't want to like go do something fucking stupid with somebody and then, go work the next day and show them this test that it shows them that I'm clean. You know what I mean? Or I don't want to use that word, but that I'm, negative on all my test results.
Clear.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Whatever the fuck. Yeah. Well, I mean, testing's important. We all know that. And now there's like a lot of cool home options and shit that you can do and whatever. That's, okay. So at what point in your career, because it sounds like shit got wild pretty quick, and we are already kind of like basically like you okay, you basically started with this dancing bear thing, which I want to touch on, like just for the people who don't know what it is. It's a man in a bear costume, right? He's like a stripper for a bridal party, but he winds up like getting sucked and fucked by the whole bridal party. Like that's Dancing Bear, right?
Well, yeah, there's a couple dancers, and the main guy is the one that wears the bear head. And
wonder how he's doing these days.
I don't know. Are they still filming it? It's funny because you can actually find my very first scene. It's wild.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Dancing Bear to Alexis Fawx, and you can Google that shit, and it will come up for sure.
What do you think makes it so wild? Just like the like you were in there trying to do a good job, you're just sucking that dick, or what? Like what? Because I would imagine you were just like, okay, I'm gonna.
Like I was just like. I had a wonderful lady that like, was sitting next to me, and God, I wish I could remember her fucking name. And she was awesome. And she was like cheering me on. Mm-hmm. It was it was almost a team effort at that point, but like, it was just a hot blow job. And I think like, the whole thing about it is there's this whole kink fetish, whatever you want to call it, where, women are partially dressed and they're doing these wild things in a public type setting, like I forget the name for it. There's actually a name or an acronym or something.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
I don't know. It's all, every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it is. But like, so that
sure
just hits on those kinks, and everybody wants to think like maybe that wife just got got wild, like
right.
all these women just get a little loose at the strip club and start fucking the strippers because they're down deep whores and sluts or whatever,
Yeah.
It really is close to me anyway, so it's easy to pull that out. I was in the military, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we'll jump back to that real quick because I mean, I do want to touch a bit on your origin story and we already did a little bit here and there. I think it's cool. We're kind of like tapping on it and then moving back and then tapping on it and moving around. So whatever. Do you remember the time like when, like how fast did your career get crazy? Like when did the DP blow bang gangbang shit come in? Was it a couple years in or was it pretty quickly?
No, that was actually a couple years in. I think like now people don't wait to do those things as frequently. They're kind of doing them almost on their OnlyFans right away. Which, when I got in, there was, this imaginary, like, oh, you're going to wait to do boy, girl, or this, that. And I don't know, whatever. And I just, it just happened when I started going out to California more is when those opportunities really started. And I started shooting more. I was like, oh, wow, my career is now really starting to take off. And now it's time to kind of maybe, I've been kind of, just doing like the girl and the boy girl for so long that maybe now it's time to do the gang bang and the blow bang. And it just felt right. Like I said, I don't do anything that I'm not 100%, wanting to do. So it was right. I was 100% ready to do DP and try it. I don't, not really in a relationship. So it's not like I'm like, hey, buddy, can you practice putting your dick in my ass? Can you invite your work buddy over and you both just bang me out? I got a scene tomorrow. It's just not like that for me. So I kind of wish it was sometimes. Not gonna lie.
Alexis Fawx is horny could be another episode title too.
Oh my god! Yeah, dude, this libido has not slowed down at all. I'm just like.
That's awesome, and I love how honest you are about like who you are and also, who you are in the porn industry, because there's crossover for everyone, but everybody is a human being as well. What did it feel like? And if you can remember, because some people can't, right? But like, what did it feel like to do your first DP, right? Were you nervous? Was it like really intense? Was it enjoyable?
I was really nervous. I've never did one before. I mean, the first DP I ever did was on camera. I actually felt that it was, and people said that too before, because of course I asked all my friends that did DP or that were really good at it. What does it feel like? What's it, what should I do? Like blah, 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 blah. And then you just kind of collect all that information and you decide what's best for your own body and you do it. Yeah. But everybody would always say that DP was actually a lot more comfortable than what anal was. And I was, in my head, I'm like, how, whatever. But it kind of is like, if you just really, really kind of relax into it. Cause what happens when if things are going to hurt or not be comfortable, or feel pressure, it's because we're tensing. We're all covered in fascia with like all of our muscles. So if I'm tensing my jaw and up here or my hands, I'm tensing other parts of my body because it's all connected, right? We're stressed, we're going to tense. So the more I can breathe and relax, and really at that point, the DP, it's all up to the guys. They're going to. And I always like request when I'm going to do DP or gangbangs. I always like it, make sure like I love it if the guys have worked together before and they're comfortable with each other, because it's really close for the guys. Don't be squeamish if your balls touch. You're fucking doing DP. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even about that. Like, so I like working with people that are comfortable working with each other, that have done DP, because it's just the simple mechanics of it. That's all it is. Or the same with the gangbang. If you're like comfortable, and also like, you got to be an element. Do you like those things? Because if you like it, then you're going to do better at it. Yeah. So I like working with the guys that are familiar with it, have done it, have the experience, and enjoy doing it. Because they're my dance partners. I get to relax. I mean, most of the time.
A little crab. Yo, yeah. I'm a very visual, like my imagination is crazy. Yeah. Okay. And then with your first gangbang or gangbangs in general, like going into that, how could you not be nervous? How many guys was it? Do you remember?
Oh, I think, what was it? Five or six? It was on Hard X. I'd have to double check. But I did the DP. It was like anal DP, gangbang, and girl anal, all on one DVD. So I did them pretty close together. So once I got through DP, I was like, gangbang's going to be just about the same. Just going to be different side, And so like for me, when I warm up period with that is once I feel sufficiently cleaned and out and stuff like that, and I'm like raring to go, I don't overstretch with the toy, because if I do, it leads to tearing and I might bleed. And I if that's going to happen, I don't want it to happen before the scene. So
sure. Yeah.
But I do a little bit. That's what works for me. I also masturbate and have an orgasm with a toy in my ass, and because I'm training my mind and body to be like, when this happens, this feels good. This results in an orgasm. Just that kind of sensory feeling, and that way I can get excited and turned on whenever it comes to that portion. Like, oh, what's going to happen here is going to lead to an orgasm. You know what I mean? I can get that mentally in my head. And it makes me a lot less nervous, because some of these cocks are fucking massive. So, and I'm thinking about how good it's going to feel and how that's going to lead to an orgasm. Then I'm going to be naturally a little bit more relaxed. The sex is going to be better. I'm going to be more into it. It's again, that's sometimes where it's a mental game, because it's not like I'm out at night with a boyfriend or a partner. Meeting them, and we had some glasses of wine, and we go home like, hey honey, you want to slip it in? Like, it's like you wake up, it's bright and early in the morning, you haven't eaten, you're getting your face painted, you have 40 minutes of it's like it's not like, oh, it's 3 pumps, I already came, honey, I'm done, let's go to bed now. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. Well, and again, like podcaster's dream, you did a perfect transition to the orgasm, because what I want to ask is, everybody that has talked about having orgasms during a DP or during a gangbang talks about how much more intense some to the level of like the see God orgasm, like a complete like sort of cum drunk subspace sort of thing. Is that your experience? I mean, were you coming during these experiences, or were you just like too worried about working?
Well, I think the first experiences, I think I was more worried about everything going on to lose myself too much into my scene. Because it was my first time. So I think there was a lot of nerves in there. But now I would say probably I'm just so much more relaxed that it's just like I can, kind of lose myself in the moment and really enjoy what's going on. I've had like outstanding orgasms where it's just solitary person, like I think it all depends on my mind. I'm really like, maybe it's a moody thing, I don't know, but I think it just depends on my mindset. So it's just so hot to be like this female and have like these beautiful men making you, giving you pleasure. It's hot. And like, it's hot to give them also pleasure. Like, so there's an element of that that's like invigorating. And I don't know. I don't know. I think I play probably like mental games with myself. Sometimes I don't want to come always in my scenes. It's almost like I like to edge myself the entire time. And then I'll go home. And if it's a really good scene, I'll fucking masturbate thinking about how good that scene was. And that orgasm alone will be because I've just fucking gooned myself for hours.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a gooner too, guys. High five. It's fun. Like, I don't know. Like, there's something to like edging. Like, I get it. Like, just because girls can edge too. Like, I don't know why guys,
absolutely.
It's not just a guy thing. And it like does lead to pretty intense orgasms. Sometimes before my scenes, I'll masturbate up into almost orgasm and not orgasm, so that when I get to my scene, I'm like,
boom. Yeah.
It's like a little, like, it's just my little thing that I do. Cause the more like, I don't know, it's just like my body's in tune, just like what's going to go on. And it's not even about like who I'm working with or anything like that. It's touch. It's really just probably very primal instincts of just being touched and having this thing pop off.
Well, and again, great fucking point you brought up. Like it is, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, especially men, but orgasm, especially, and sex is a completely psychological game. The body can't do anything until the mind is like, yeah, we're doing that, right?
My mind's clicked on. If my mind's clicked on, the body's going to follow.
Yeah.
If my mind is thinking about, fuck, I shouldn't have answered that text message, blah, 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 blah. My mind, Sierra Desert down there, brother. You're like, good luck, Go spit on it. Have fun with that. I'm thinking about my taxes right now. There's nothing happening.
Yeah, no. Oh no! Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, we're nearing the end of the episode. I have a couple more questions. We'll play a quick game. We'll get you out of here. So when it comes to cum shots and your whole career, right? Let's take that into effect. Like take that into account. Are you someone, I mean, have you been doing like facials and cream pies from the beginning? And where do you prefer? Like, do you prefer people to come on your face, on your tits, inside you? I mean, I
love a good anal cream pie. That's my absolute favorite. Plus, I'm not going to get pregnant from it.
Right. Yeah.
It's hot. It's fucking hot.
Okay. Yeah, no, I fucking bet you do. I bet you someone's tied up in the background back there, probably somewhere.
Outside. But you're not gonna know,
I'm not telling anybody anything. Yeah.
I love a good anal cream pie though. I think it's fucking hot. There's something is like it's
Yeah.
I like that kind of shit. That shit is my personal life turn-ons. But yeah, that's hot. But like, I don't know. Facials are fine. facials are not actually like always my favorite. And it's because certain people's diets aren't always great. And then it comes out in their semen and then it hurts my skin. And I'm like, damn it. So that's not enjoyable, or if it gets in my eyes. But like, cum on the glasses is hot for a lot of guys. So I do it. Obviously with having big tits, plenty of, cum on the boobs. Right. But yeah, cream pies are my favorite, especially anal. Yeah, those are my favorite.
I mean, is there an element though, with like the facial, let's say it's a gangbang, you're surrounded by dudes and like you just fucked all these dudes and they're all like super like into you, they're about to come. I mean, is there a moment where you're on your knees and you're surrounded by all these guys and like it's like a huge turn on that they're about to come for you on your face, and there has to be some sort of element of, I would imagine.
Yeah, on my face or on my body. I mean, honestly, like gangbangs can go all different ways. Sure. You know what I mean? So wherever, maybe they're gonna fuck and pop, and maybe they it happens all over the place. But it is hot. It kind of be like, wow, to get all those it's really like, well, it's like kind of like I said earlier, is having the ability to, figure out that kink and enjoy and getting these guys off is just really kind of turns me on and gets me really wet and excites me. That's why I like, even like with blowjobs, like that can alone, like. The person is really into what I'm doing. And I want to feed off the energy of that. This is awesome.
Yeah. And see, so I've experienced that in my personal life. And I feel there's this huge disbelief that women can come from giving a guy a blowjob. I mean, let's just dispel that right away. Like that's such a thing.
And it's such a thing. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about surprisingly enough, this guy I worked with, not a great male talent. He's generally into feet, and he was fucking my feet, and he was fucking it in such a way it felt like he was fucking my pussy, and he wasn't even. I was just like, just fucking my feet.
Wow.
So it's being in that moment, and like I'm probably really into just how my body, I can like really turn that on with my mental state. But that's also
no. That's the guy tied up with rope outside trying to get back in the house or something.
You don't pay rent.
We're keeping that in.
Only dogs. Fuckers.
Yeah, of course. Okay, two final questions, and then we'll blow through this last piece.
Okay.
Okay. So what I want to ask, is there anybody out there like newcomer wise that you've seen that you're like, damn, I want to work with this person? Because there's a lot of new people coming up.
Yeah, there is. Fuck, I should always be prepared for these questions, but I never am. I really also mind my business really hard. I don't go on Twitter and read it. I go on Twitter to advertise.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, fuck yeah. Yeah.
So I'm so bad with like names. There's actually quite a few. And I think like me doing the massage mistress, and so I shoot my massage mistress concept, and then I shoot my Alexis Fawx concept for my OnlyFans. And that's brought a lot of new faces across my camera and with me that that I'm like, oh, wow. It's been some are really amazing performers that are just starting. I know they just had a bunch of new starlets too that just got nominated. I should be probably naming somebody off that list, but I don't know. I really mind my business so hard, and I live in Vegas. Yeah. I don't keep track until I'm like, once in a while I'll go, oh yeah, that person. And then I'm like, how long have they been?
Well, you're a fucking legend. You can do what you want, whatever. Next question. Was there a moment where you in your career where you opened up your bank account and looked at it and you're like, oh fuck, I'm rich?
You know, I think what made me feel, and I don't know, I think more like made me feel wealthy in a sense.
Sure.
Is, you know, the ability that I paid off my student loans. I bought a house. I just, you know, paid off my cars. Just doing things that, you know, at one point in my life, I thought I would never be able to accomplish. And I almost came to really good terms with it. I'll be like, oh, I'll never own a house. It's fine. Who knows if I'll ever like pay off my student loans? Like, who does, right? Like, and I almost like gave up on it in a way. And here I'm like, when I accomplished doing all of that and save money and still continue to pay all my basic necessities, I have such immense gratitude, because then I was like, holy shit, like, you know, that made me feel wealthy in a sense. And it's beyond like the amount in my account. It's more like that overwhelming feeling of like, you're making that, or I've made that little girl inside of me very happy, like buying the house with the pool and stuff. Like, you know, you think in Pennsylvania that I used to grow up thinking and dreaming of, and accomplishing those things all on my own, nobody else. So I think that to me was a very wealthy moment. And it was also a moment where it's like, I don't know if you've ever had those moments where you literally feel joy sprinkle throughout your entire body. It's almost like literally butterflies or energetic bursts. I don't know what the fuck it is, but
sure,
it brings almost sometimes tears in my eyes, because I'm so, so grateful to be where I am today. It's been such an amazing journey. And I feel like, and like, I feel like I still just got started. So I don't know what that means, you know, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, that one of the coolest answers that I've ever gotten. And I just want to say, like, it's so well deserved, right? You work your ass off, but also at the same time, like, you've transcended just being a porn star, right? Like you are, you know, you're doing all sorts of, yes, OnlyFans, but like content wise, you are so hip to what's happening, what's coming. You're making all this content, you're in it, it's like seamless for you. So I feel like you're very media smart, you're very human psychological smart, and you've fucking blown this out. And so I think that happiness that you worked so hard for is so fucking well deserved. So congratulations on everything you've done.
Thank you.
Final little segment. I've got like 10 questions. This segment it's called The Burner. I hate the name. I got to change the name eventually, but we're going to zip through these questions. We don't have to follow up. I just ask you a question and then you give an answer. It takes a couple of minutes and then we will get out of here. So if you're ready, Alexis Fawx, let's run through The Burner. Question 1, name something you wish men would stop doing.
Answering for us.
Great answer. Question 2, name something you wish women would stop doing.
Answering for men.
Name something you wish you would stop doing.
Interrupting people sometimes. I get so excited. It's hard to contain it, and I gotta like calm myself.
Oh, never stop doing that. I love that. Have you ever been to a sex party in real life? We're gonna know the answer to this.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Favorite guilty pleasure does not have to be sexual, can be anything.
Oh man, I love taking myself out to a really good restaurant or for a really good meal, sitting at like the bar and people watching and like eavesdropping on their like conversations.
That's awesome as fuck.
Sometimes I make up like little stories in my head about them. It's great. I did that like, you know, the night before actually.
Yeah, well, they say that's one of the characteristics that if you can do that while eating and having a conversation, that you belong in the CIA. So there you go. Okay, name a person, alive or dead. You can have sex with this person, spend time with them. The catch is that after 24 hours they disappear.
I could do anything with.
Yeah, you could have sex with them. You can go to the fucking. You don't have to have sex with them. You could like go hang out in the fucking garden and have tea, whatever you want.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to fuck Jim Morrison because he was such a hoe. I wouldn't mind hanging out with my dad again. That'd be kind of cool. But you know.
Yeah. Okay. Great answers. Backstreet Boys are in sync.
Don't know them apart.
Good,
I'll take them all. Let's take them all.
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
And then maybe afterwards I'll tell them apart. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Spice Girls or Pussycat Dolls?
I'm going to say Spice Girls.
Okay. Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin?
Ooh.
Oh, I know. This one's really hard.
God, it depends on my mood. That's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm feeling just like, I don't know, pretty wicked, I would say Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm in my like horny, slick mood, I'm like Led Zeppelin mood. That's a hard one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you have it because you're a legend. Most used app on your phone?
Probably Instagram.
Okay. Flaming hot or probably not? Are you into like super spicy food or no?
I definitely would not do the flaming hots. I'm not into that.
Okay. So see, this is final question. Say something to one of your exes, but you don't have to say who it is, right? And if you want to just like say something to someone like fun, it can be positive, it can be negative. We don't know who you're talking to. This is your chance, unfiltered, to say something to someone who maybe might know who you're talking to, but we have no idea. So whatever you want to say.
Pay your debts.
Yes. Pay those fucking debts. Alexis Fawx, thank you so much for being with me on Sex Party. Let's tell these party goers, these horny party goers, where they can find you on socials, but more importantly, right, where they can just dump suitcases of cash out on you on OnlyFans, on Loyal Fans, wherever you're at.
Yeah, I do have a Loyal Fans. Look for Alexis Fawx, FAWX. My OnlyFans is foxfans.com. It'll take you right to my VIP page. I also do Massage Mistress. That's on there as well. I also have a coffee if you're into the little bit of coffee. HAF.coffee is the website. And you can find me on Instagram, Alexis Fawx Live, and Twitter, Alexis Fawx.
We love it. Personal thank you from me to you for being part of 150. You're a legend. Thank you so much for being here. I'd love to have you back. We'll have to set it up for some time in the future, but yeah, it's been an honor. So really, really great talking to you. We'll talk soon. Okay. Thank you so much. Big thank you to my guest, Alexis Fawx, for helping me celebrate 150 episodes of Sex Party. 150 episodes. Holy shit. If you guys are loving guests like Alexis, if you want to see her again, she will be back sooner than you think. And it might not be in the way that you think, but she will be back. But you're just loving Sex Party. You want another 150 episodes. How do you show that love, that desire, right? You could leave a rating. You could leave a review if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify. But honestly, fuck all that noise. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you subscribe to the show so you never miss a new episode of Sex Party every single Wednesday, especially if you're subscribed or you think you're subscribed. On Apple Podcasts, they've been unsubscribing people. So what you want to do, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Sex Party with Dustin Rybka, upper right-hand corner, click that button, right? If you see a check mark, you're good. But if it's a pause button or some weird other symbol, click it. Drop-down menu will pop up. Click resume subscription, resume downloads. Bing, bang, boom, what bop. You're resubscribed to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, what is your favorite kind of pasta? You heard us talk about pasta in the episode. What's your favorite kind of pasta? That's it. That's the question. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, what can you do? Well, you could like this video. You could like all the videos. You can leave comments. I love interacting with you guys. But what you want to do is you want to make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday. Guys, thank you so much for 150 episodes of Sex Party. I'm always available in the DMs, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin at Dustin Rybka.